At the outset, I would like to thank CSI for the opportunity. So I'll be talking on managing a corneal perforation. So corneal perforation is an ophthalmic emergency. If not treated properly and in time, it can result in an extrusion of intraocular contents and lead to various complications like angiochoric glaucoma or cataract. So the main aim of closing a perforation is to tectonically stabilize it. And we have to evaluate what are the reasons for the perforation. So it can vary from an infection like bacterial, fungal or a viral etiology, or a sterile inflammation in cases like rheumatoid arthritis or chemical injuries, or it may be related to a trauma or a neurotrophy. So the clinical features of a corneal perforation include abrupt decrease in visual acuity and sudden watering from the eye. There will be shallow or flat anterior chamber. If you do a fluorescein stain, you can get a Stieglitz positive. And in obvious perforations, you have iris prolapse from the perforation. And digitally, if you see the IOP, the eye will be hypertonous. And in cases like impending perforation or a descemetocele, you have a Descemet's membrane folds which are radiating from the center of the descemetocele. So what are the options to close a corneal perforation? You have varied options like fibrin glue or a cyanoacrylate glue, or you can use an amniotic membrane graft in a multi-layer amniotic membrane graft or a single layer AMG. You can use a Tenon's tissue from the patient's own eye. You can also have a conjunctiva in the form of a Gunderson flap, or you can use a sclera if the perforation in the periphery of the cornea. If in an acute emergency, you can also have a drape or a bandage contact lens hand fashioned in the shape of a perforation and close it. And large perforations where you cannot use all these techniques, you can use do a tectonic penetrating keratoplasty, or you can use a corneal patch graft. So I'll be focusing only on Tenon's and Tenon's patch graft and cyanoacrylate glue in the interest of the time. So this is a corneal perforation which is happened at the 10 o'clock position. You can see the perforation is quite large. It is at a 10 o'clock position, which is more than 3 millimeters in size. These perforations, you cannot close it with a cyanoacrylate glue. So here I am trying to form the anterior chamber where by injecting viscoelastic into the anterior chamber. And as this perforation was around 2 days old, the iris was refusing to go back into the anterior chamber. So I had to abscess the iris tissue. And to get the Tenon's patch, it is similar to how we do an autograft for pterygium surgery. You inject saline under the conjunctiva in inferior fornix. Once you get a bleb, you dissect the conjunctiva carefully, not injuring the Tenon's tissue. Then you reflect back the conjunctiva like a flap. And underneath what you have a white fibrotic tissue is nothing but the Tenon's tissue. That Tenon's tissue is cut with a Vannas scissor, and you can grade the size of the Tenon's tissue depending on the size of perforation. Then you take the Tenon's tissue near the perforation, and you can close the perforation either with the help of sutures, or you can use a fibrin glue or a cyanoacrylate glue, or you can also make it tuck into the stromal tissue. So this is how perforation looks after closing with the Tenon's patch graft. This perforation is closed with sutures, and the anterior chamber is formed with the air bubble. So the other modality is using a cyanoacrylate glue. So difference between cyanoacrylate glue versus fibrin glue is cyanoacrylate glue has a better tectonic strength when compared to fibrin glue, and it is easy to use and it is very cost effective, and other advantage, it has bacteriostatic properties. Whereas fibrin glue advantage, it causes less discomfort to the patient, but it has lesser tensile strength when compared to cyanoacrylate glue. Cyanoacrylate glue can be used to close perforation which is around 1 to 2 millimeters size. So the main important thing is to ask the patient not to rub his eyes so that the perforation doesn't extend. You can close the perforation either in topical anesthesia, or if you are doing a peribarbar block, the block has to be minimal. You can do either at a slit lamp or in the operating room. So the main goal of the surgery is not to extend the perforation. So the tissue handling has to be minimal as much as possible, and the amount of tissue adhesive which is used has to be minimal. If you use larger amount of tissue adhesive, it is difficult to put a BCL, and it causes a lot of discomfort for the patient. And the most important step in this surgery is to remove the surrounding epithelium. If the epithelium around the perforation is not removed or not scraped off, this TA will get loosened off easily, and in 1 or 2 days it will fall off. And the other important thing is when you try to form the anterior chamber with an air bubble, so it is better to use a 30 gauge needle than a 26 gauge needle, because once you egress out from the anterior chamber, the air leaks out if you use a large bore needle. So 30 gauge needle is an important step here. And this is how the cyanoacrylate comes in a sterile blister pack. So once you open the blister pack, you break the ampule, and there is a syringe and needle available in the pack. So you take the cyanoacrylate glue into the needle, and the cyanoacrylate glue is placed on the sterile drape or any sterile instrument on a flat surface. Just put 1 drop of the cyanoacrylate glue, and This is a small video, edited video of a corneal perforation. So here I am removing the surrounding epithelium with the help of a LEMS forceps and trying to, because as I said, if you don't remove the epithelium, the cyanoacrylate glue falls off easily. And taking a small amount of cyanoacrylate glue from the end of a Vixel sponge, you close the perforation and you dry the surface with the help of Vixel sponge. And here I'm taking a 30 gauge needle and entering the anterior chamber and injecting an air bubble so that to form the anterior chamber. And you wait for 5-10 minutes, and after that you have to remove the air bubble from the anterior chamber and form the AC with the saline. And at the end of the procedure, you put a bandage contact lens. So this is an ideal case where you can see that there is a corneal perforation and there is a anterior segment OCT showing the iris nearly attached to the cornea and the large amount of perforation. This is closed with a cyanoacrylate glue, and after 1 month the cyanoacrylate glue is removed, and this is how the eye looks after 1 month. And this is another case where the minimal amount of cyanoacrylate glue is used to close the perforation, and you have to make sure that it doesn't extend into the visual axis because it causes diminution of vision. And this glue can also be used as a temporary measure to close a large perforation. This is a case of a HSV necrotizing keratitis where the cornea is melted, so there was no tissue in hand, so we had closed the perforation as a temporary measure. And once we got the tissue in 1 or 2 days, then this patient underwent a therapeutic penetrating keratoplasty, and you can see a good outcome after the therapeutic PK. So in conclusion, tissue adhesive is a simple and effective method to close small perforations. It is easily available and is easy to use. It is a cost-effective procedure, and removal also is simple. It can be removed on a slit lamp, and the most important thing is it maintains adequate tectonic strength of the eyeball.
Thank you. I invite Dr. Dharamveer Singh. Is he here?